Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the All Beneficent, the All Merciful. Nuqoosh Ismat, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al Kazim, peace be upon him. Part 1. Birth 7 Safar, 128th year after Hijrah. Martyrdom 25th Rajab, 183rd year after Hijrah. Life sketch of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far, peace be upon him. It was 7 Safar, 128th year after Hijrah. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, peace be upon him, along with his honorable wife, had gone for Hajj, and on return journey, he was camping at Abawa between Makkah and Medina when Imam Musa al-Kazim, peace be upon him, was born, which is clear evidence of the fact that the holy Imams did not ignore Hajj even in such crucial times, when only 2 months were left from delivery, and the journey was also of that period when facilities like today were not available and one had to cover a distance of around 500 kilometers on camels. And it also shows clearly that as much importance this journey had in view of Imams, as much importance it held in the view of their pure wives. Otherwise, she would have excused herself because of her pregnancy and postponed it for the following year, which is commonly done today. Reference Shawahidun Nubuwa, page 151, Wasilatun Najat, page 363, Manaqib, volume 3, page 437, Irshad Mufid, Ilamul Wara. On the contrary, this also solves the problem that whether wives of the holy Imams were going for Hajj or not, whether this obligation is only for men or on women also. Indeed, Hajj is a worship act in which three capabilities are required: monetary, physical capability, and possibility of journey. If Hajj is not mentioned in connection with some wives, it is very much possible that it must have been due to their lack of capability, like innumerable Muslims and sincere believers are deprived of this fortune, and it is not related to any difference between the duties of men and women. And there is no question of performing the Hajj after one is capable and when Hajj has become obligatory. Lady Hamida has narrated, after birth, my son looked at the sky and recited the dual testimony of Islamic faith, which has been a practice of all infallibles. The following verse was written on his right arm: وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صَدْقًا وَعَدْلًا, and the word of your Lord has been accomplished truly and justly. The Holy Quran, Surah An'am, chapter 6, verse 115. Reference Rawzatul Shuhada, page 436, Anwar-e Nomania, page 126, Jilaul Uyun, page 270. He was named Musa, and Kazim became his famous title, which means one who swallows anger, and it is possible that one of the reasons of this title was that Musa, mentioned among the Ulul Azm prophets, his quality is described as the one with anger. Thus, Providence decided that a Musa Kazim should also come into being so that both kinds of divine personalities may become apparent. And this difference also becomes clear through history of prophethood and Imamat, that if you want to see the majesty of fury and anger, you should see Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. And if you want to witness the example of divine forbearance, you should look at Imam Musa Kazim, peace be upon him. Reference Sawaikul Mahrika, page 131, Tariq-e Khamis, volume 2, page 320, Biharul Anwar, volume 11, page 233, Matalibus Su'ul, page 276, Shawahidun Nubuwa, page 192, Rawzatul Shuhada, page 432, Ilalul Sharai, page 235, Manaqib, volume 2, page 437, Uyun Akhbar-e Riza, volume 1, page 112, Irshad Mufid, page 307. Another divine wisdom of this name could be that the name of his killer was Harun. Thus, Providence wanted to make clear since the first day that one should not be deceived by names and pay full attention to the character of man. Otherwise, a person named as such could be a supporter and assistant of a Musa, and at another time, another Harun can be a killer of a Musa. This is the difference between true and false, and perhaps this was the reason that Prophet Musa had requested Almighty Allah to allow Harun to be his helper, and if Allah makes someone a prophet, he would be a faithful and a righteous person, and if people make someone as a king, he would remain wanton and immoral. Among his other titles, Abd Saleh, Sabir, Amin, Baabul Hawaa'ej are more famous. His kunyat was Abul Hasan Awwal, Abu Ibrahim, Abul Hasan Mazi, Abul Ali, Abu Ismail, etc. The explanation of the title of Baabul Hawaa'ej is that miracle cures are being seen from his holy tomb since times immemorial till date, and some writers have compiled separate books on this subject in which they have compiled these miracles according to eyewitness accounts. And the fact is that in Baghdad, after that terrible carnage in which the water of Tigris river remained red for many days, the survival of Shia faith is also a living miracle of Imam Musa Kazim, which cannot be denied at any cost. Calamities befell him during his lifetime as well, but like the past calamities, could not discontinue the series of Imamat. In the same way, the later calamities could not affect the religion of Ahlul Bayt. The following statement of Imam Shafi'i proved to be true that the tomb of Imam Musa Kazim is proven effective for fulfilling wishes. Reference Matalibus Su'ul, page 278, Sawaikul Muharrika, page 131, Manaqib, volume 3, page 125. Imam Musa Kazim, peace be upon him, was born in 128th year after Hijrah during the reign of Marwan Himar. After 3 years, his dynastic rule came to an end and the first ruler of Bani Abbas ascended to the throne. He ruled from 132 to 136 years after Hijrah. When Mansur Dawaniqi succeeded him, who got Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq assassinated through poison in 148th year after Hijrah, and the Imamat of Imam Musa Kazim began from the age of 20 years. In the year 158 year after Hijrah, Mansur was succeeded by Mehdi Abbasi, who ruled for 10 years, and in 169th year after Hijrah, he was succeeded by Hadi, who could not remain in power for more than a year. In 170 years after Hijrah, Harun came to the throne, who had Imam Musa Kazim assassinated through poison in 183rd year after Hijrah. At that time, the age of Imam was 55 years, from which 20 years passed under the care of his father, and then he held the position of Imamat for a period of 35 years. Reference Sawaikul Muharrika, Akhbarul Khulafa, Ibn Ra'i, Habibus Sair. Among his childhood miracle acts, we can cite the incident in which Safwan Jammal saw him coming out of his house in such a condition that he was holding the ears of a young one of a goat and asking the camel to prostrate before Almighty Allah, as if he was showing Safwan that the majesty of us Ahl Bayt is that even if animals become connected to us, we ask them to prostrate before the Lord, and without that, we do not like to have them as pets. Safwan said, if you can make it prostrate, you can also order it to die. He said, Safwan, death and life is in control of God. We cannot say anything about it, as if he also made it clear that man should worry about his obligatory duties, and interference in divine matters is against dignity and servitude, and this can make us eligible for divine chastisement. This incident is of the time when he was 3 years old. Reference Al-Irshad, page 309, Biharul Anwar, volume 11, page 226, Tazkirat al-Maa'soomeen, page 192, Ilm al-Wara, page 289, Khinayatun Nomani, page 179. He was 5 years old when Abu Hanifa came to debate with Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq on the subject of free will and compulsion. He welcomed the guest before his father and said, there are 3 possibilities in this matter. Either the act is done at discretion of man, or it is accomplished through divine compulsion, or it is through participation of both. If the deed is through man, it is opposed to your view, and if it is through divine compulsion or participation, he should be legally deserving of chastisement as well. But it is not so. Thus it clearly shows that man is responsible for his acts, and the responsibility is not on God. Reference Biharul Anwar, volume 11, page 185, Amali, Sayyid Murtada, volume 1, page 151, Ihtijaj Tabrasi, page 198, Manaqib, volume 3, page 429. The fact is that belief in predestiny is an invention of tyrant rulers who through beliefs like this wanted to justify their crimes, and their aim was that people should consider them as being compelled by destiny and should not take them to account or it would be difficult to survive. Abu Hanifa was highly impressed by this incident. He felt humiliated and began to find means to take revenge for it. Thus, once he saw Imam Musa Kazim praying at a place where people were walking from the front. Abu Hanifa complained to Imam Ja'far Sadiq immediately. He called his son, appraised him of the complaint, and asked him to explain. Imam Musa Kazim said, "My Lord is nearer to me than my jugular vein, so the passers-by cannot cause any obstruction." Reference Manaqib, Volume 5, page 69. This reply is in fact reiterating the point that when the mind of a person is not focused on divine majesty and beauty, and there is risk that attention will wander, at that time it could be detestable to recite prayers over there. But if Almighty Allah becomes nearer to the jugular vein, and if one is fully focused in worship of God, there is no deficiency in this prayer. And this is the clear difference between worship acts of Ummah and the Imamat. On another occasion, Abu Hanifa came to meet Imam Ja'far Sadiq, and seeing that young boy, decided to pose a question to him, which would perhaps confuse and humiliate him. He asked, "If a person comes to a town where he should go to attend to the call of nature," the Imam replied, "he should take the support of rare walls, keep away from the view of neighbors, remain aloof from river banks, and avoid shade of fruit-bearing trees, away from courtyards and streets, leaving the mosque, refraining from facing Kaaba or keeping his back to it. He should take care of his garments and sit down wherever he likes." Abu Hanifa was astounded by this reply, and his companion Abdullah ibn Muslim said, "Did I not tell you that even the children from the family of prophethood are different from ordinary children?" Reference Biharul Anwar, Manaqib, and Ihtijaj. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq decided to demonstrate the excellence of his son to the people in spite of his young age. So once he said, "Son, add the second line to this couplet. Never intend to commit any sins." Imam Musa Kazim said, "If you do something good, you should do it more." Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq said, "I agree that you would see the deception of enemies." Imam Musa Kazim said, "You must never adopt this method." Reference Biharul Anwar, Volume 11, page 266. In 148th year after Hijrah, because of the martyrdom of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, Imam Musa Kazim succeeded to the position of leadership in Imamat. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq knew what his killer Mansur would do with his children, so he prepared a will about his property in which he made 5 persons responsible: Mansur Dawaniqi, Suleiman the governor of Medina, Abdullah Aftah son of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, Imam Musa Kazim, and Lady Hamida. After the martyrdom of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, Mansur wrote to the governor of Medina to arrest his successor and put him to death. When he investigated who the successor was, he found that he and Mansur were also among the successors, so he excused himself, and the first example of divine policy of the Imam became clear. Reference An-Niza wa Takhassum, page 74. After that, when Mehdi Abbasi summoned the Imam from Medina with the intention of assassinating him, he met Abu Khalid at the Zubala stage. Seeing the scene of arrest, he expressed regret. He said, "I would return on so and so date." So when Hamid ibn Qahtaba was appointed to execute him, Mehdi saw Imam Ali in the dream that he was about to kill him. So when he awoke, he immediately stopped Hamid from carrying out his job, and Imam Musa Kazim reached Zubala on the appointed date and said, "Abu Khalid, when I will be arrested next time, there will be no possibility of return, and my grave would be made in Baghdad only." Reference Nurul Absar, page 130. Damatus Sakiba, Volume 3, page 16. Biharul Anwar, Volume 9, page 64. Shawahidun Nubuwa, page 193. Matalibus Su'ul, page 278. Manaqib, etc. This same Mehdi ibn Mansur had decided to restore Fadak to Ahl Bayt as a gesture of reconciliation. So Imam had explained the true situation that Fadak was not only an orchid, it was an Islamic kingdom personified. When the Caliph realized this, he dropped the idea as a tyrant can do anything but leave the kingdom. Although Harun al-Rashid has become famous to be a lover of arts, he was extremely profligate and inimical to descendants of Imam Ali. Such was his profligacy that he had sex with a slave girl his father had slept with, and Abu Yusuf gave verdict that if she claims to have slept with her father, her statement is of no value. Reference Tarikh-e-Khulafa Suyuti. Such was his persecution of Sadat that in 176th year after Hijrah he had Abdullah, brother of Nafse Zakiya, buried alive in walls. Reference Tarikhul Islam, Mr. Zakir Hussain, Sahahul Akhbar. He had the berry tree which grew over the grave of Imam Hussain cut down, regarding which Holy Prophet had said, "Curse of God be on one who cuts down a berry tree." Reference Jilaul Uyun, Qumqam, Amali, Sheikh Tusi, Tasweer Karbala, page 61. In Tus, he ordered Hamid ibn Qahtaba to eliminate the Sadat, and he slew 60 of them at one time. Allama Majlisi has mentioned this incident with reference to Bazzar-e-Nishapuri. In 173rd year after Hijrah, he travelled to Makkah and Medina on the pretext of Hajj, and on two occasions he tried to find justifications of eliminating the Imam, but he failed. Once he demanded from the Imam the proof that he was a descendant of Prophet, as descendants usually are from male issues. Imam on one side gave reference of Isa being from the progeny of Prophet Ibrahim, and on the other hand recited the verse of Mubahila, and Harun could not get any excuse to eliminate the Imam. Reference Sawaikul Maharika, page 122, Nurul Absar, page 134, Arjahul Matalib, page 452. The second time when he greeted the Prophet's grave as "O son of uncle," the Imam addressed him as "O father," on which he arrested the Imam for competing with the regime and brought him to Baghdad. But seeing Imam Ali in angry form in his dream, he freed him and sent him back to Medina, and he failed to have him eliminated. Reference Wafayatul Ayan, volume 2, page 131, Tarikh-e-Ahmad, page 349. Having failed in all these tactics, he sent a beautiful lady into the prison to the holy Imam to frame him for unlawful sex. But when the prison wardens surveyed the prison, they found the woman in prostration, and she explained that when I came here I saw that the Imam was reciting a confidential supplication to the Almighty, and the voices of Labbaik were coming from the other side. Labbaik meaning here I am. So I realized that there could be no better opportunity to worship. Thus now I get pleasure only in prostration. Reference Manaqib ibn Shahr Ashub. Along with preserving his own life, the Imam continued to take care of his friends as well. Thus under this program, he got Ali ibn Yaqteen, one of his sincere companions, appointed as minister of Harun. And when he sent an expensive cloak as a royal gift, the Imam sent it back saying that he might need it. This proved true when people complained to Harun that Ali ibn Yaqteen sends everything to Imam Musa Kazim. Harun got his premises searched and the cloak was found there. So he rewarded Ali ibn Yaqteen and punished the complainant with 1,000 lashes. But he died only after getting 500. Reference Nurul Absar, page 130, Shawahidun Nubuwa, page 194. On another occasion, Ali ibn Yaqteen inquired from the Imam the method of wiping of the feet in wudu, whether it should be from the top to bottom or from below to above. Imam wrote the complete Ahlus Sunnah method of wudu, and Ibn Yaqteen started doing wudu in that way only. People again complained to Harun that Ibn Yaqteen is a Shia, and he spied on Ibn Yaqteen to see in what way he was doing the wudu. He was pleased and he rewarded Ibn Yaqteen and punished his distractors severely. After 2 days, a communication was received from Imam that the time of taqiyya was over. Now he should do wuzu in accordance to the command of God. Reference Manaqib, volume 5, page 58, Ilm al-Wara, page 170. When Harun failed in all his efforts, on the advice of his vizier Yahya Barmaki, he summoned Muhammad ibn Ismail from Medina to Baghdad to plot the Imam's murder. Muhammad was angry with the Imam because the Imamat of his father Ismail could not come into effect. Thus, at the time of departing from Medina, he came to meet the Imam, and the Imam gave him 400 dinars and 1,500 dirhams to him and said, I can repay your debts and bear your expenses. There is no need for you to go to Baghdad. But if you are going anyway, beware. Do not dye your hands with my blood. In spite of that, on reaching Baghdad, Muhammad complained to Harun that Imam Musa Kazim was in power in Medina and two swords cannot remain in one sheath. So Harun rewarded Muhammad with 200,000 dirhams and bid farewell to him. But it was an arrangement and revenge of Providence that Muhammad died the following day without getting the chance to spend anything from the money Harun had given to him. On the contrary, the fire of hell was prepared for him. Harun was so much affected by these reports that he immediately decided to go for Hajj, and on reaching Medina had the Imam arrested while he was engrossed in his prayers on 20th Shawwal 179th year after Hijrah, and did not even allow him to bid farewell to his family members before he could be dispatched to Basra. After a long journey of 1 month and 17 days, the Imam reached Basra on 7th Zilhajj. He was lodged in a prison over there for a year. Isa ibn Ja'far, a cousin of Harun, was the governor of Basra at that time. He recommended to Harun to release the Imam as he was engrossed in prayers all the time. So Harun shifted him to Baghdad and accommodated him in the prison of Fazl ibn Rabi. Fazl was also impressed by the nice behavior of the Imam. Finally, Sanadi ibn Shahik the accursed was appointed as jailer, and he assassinated the Imam through poison. When the Imam passed away, he was completely chained and collared. After that, the corpse was also given over to load carriers, but Sulaiman stopped it on the Baghdad bridge to have it buried with respect. Imam Ali Reza, peace be upon him, arrived from Medina miraculously and performed the last rites of his father. The Imam was martyred on 25th of Rajab, 183rd year after Hijrah, and he was buried at that area of Baghdad which at present is known as Kazmain. Reference: Manaqib, Volume 5, page 68, Ilamul Wara, page 180, Kashful Ghamma, page 108, Nurul Absar, page 136, Sawane Imam Musa Kazim, page 15, Shawahidun Nubuwa, page 193, Sawaikul Mahrika, page 132, Arjahul Matalib, page 454, Abul Fida, volume 2, page 151, Tarikh Khamis, volume 2, page 320, Anwar-e Nomania, page 127, Jannatul Khulud, page 130. Wives and children. There is a difference of opinion among scholars with regard to the number of his children. Ibn Shahrashub has mentioned them to be 23 in all. Author of Umdatut Talib has increased this figure to be 60, including 37 daughters and 23 sons. Sheikh Mufid has stated that there were 37 in all, 18 sons and 19 daughters. All books state that the Imam had 18 sons and 19 daughters, and the name of Hussein is not mentioned, while 18 male names are mentioned over there. They are as follows: His Eminence Imam Ali ibn Musa Raza, peace be upon him, Ibrahim, Abbas, Qasim, Ismail, Ja'far, Harun, Hassan, Ahmad, Muhammad, Hamza, Abdullah, Ishaq, Ubaidullah, Zaid, Hussein, Fadl, Sulaiman, Hussein. And the daughters were Fatima, Kubra, Fatima Sugra, Ruqayya, Halima, Abiha, Ruqayya Sugra, Kulthum, Ja'far, Lubana, Zainab, Khadija, Amina, Hasna, Bariha, Abbasa, Salama, Maimuna, and Kulthum. Reference: Ilamul Wara, page 181, Kashful Ghamma, page 109, Nurul Absar, page 137, Wasilatun Najad, etc. His descendants continued from 13 children, of whom 4 had the most children: Imam Ali Reza, peace be upon him, Ibrahim, Muhammad Abid, and Ja'far. Following of his sons did not originally have any issues: Zayd an-Nar, Abdullah, Ubaidullah, and Hamza. 5 of his sons had few children each: Abbas, Harun, Ishaq, Hussein, and Hassan. We should know that Sayyid Sharif al-Radhi, compiler of Nahj al-Balagha, and Sayyid Sharif Murtada, who is called Alamul Huda and was an excellent theologian and polemist of his time, both are descendants of Imam Musa Kazim, and they are also buried in Kazmain. His Eminence Shah Chirag Sayyid Ahmad of Shiraz whose tomb is a place of visitation where people regularly have their wishes fulfilled, is also a descendant of Imam Musa Kazim. He was very much loved by the Imam and who had freed 1000 slaves for the sake of God. His grave was unknown before, but when the ruler of the time came out searching for it and noticed a light which people explained that, O Shah, a chirag is visible. That is, O Shah meaning king, chirag meaning lamp. Due to this, he got the name of Shah Chirag. Near his tomb is the mausoleum of his brother Sayyid Muhammad, who, on the basis of his excessive worship, was called as Sayyid Muhammad Abid. The tomb of Hamza is situated in Tehran near the tomb of Shah Abdul Azim, whom Shah Abdul Azim also used to visit during his lifetime. He was also a son of Imam Musa Kazim and the owner of great miracles. Among the daughters of Imam Musa Kazim, Fatima was most famed and she is referred to as Maa'soomeen Qum. In 200 years after Hijrah, Mamun summoned Imam Ali Reza from Medina to Merv. After a year, she set out from Medina in search of her brother. On the way, she fell ill, and the people of Qum brought her to Qum and lodged her in the house of Musa ibn Khazraj, where she passed away after 17 days as a result of exhaustion of the journey of her illness. Nobles of Qom arranged her final rites in the best way and with full honors buried her at Babloon, where her tomb is found today. Author of History of Qom has also narrated with regard to her final rites that when her bier was ready, the problem arose that who would lower her into the cellar. A senior gentleman was selected and summoned for this. But after he came, it was seen that two riders were approaching from the desert who dismounted near the bier and prayed the funeral prayer, and after that they buried her in the cellar and went away immediately, and no one could know who they were. After that, Musa ibn Khazraj constructed a canopy over the purified grave, and after that Zainab binte Imam Jawad had the dome constructed, which can be seen in a highly developed state today and which is a place of visitation of everyone. Reference Shajre Tuba, page 121, Muntahiyul Amal, volume 2, page 242, Al Hadi Monthly, Qom, Iran, Zikad, 1393 years after Hijrah, page 105. Describing the blessings and favors of descendants of Imam Musa ibn Jafar, it would not be out of place to mention the two great scholars of our age who are incomparable in the field of knowledge, divine cognition, jihad and politics, Ayatollah al-Udama, Sayyid Abul Qasim al-Khoui, and leader of Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah al-Udama Ruhullah Khomeini. Both are the descendants of Imam Musa al-Kazim, and their existence is representing both the lives of the Imam. That if you want to see his academic contribution, you should look at one of his sons, and if you want to see his struggle in the path of God, you should see his another son, who in spite of extreme hardships and in an alien land, refreshed the memory of his holy grandfather in prison of Baghdad, from where he wrote a 2-line letter and shook up Harun's regime. Every day that passes reduces a day of your comfort and reduces a day of my discomfort. After that, we were going to be presented in the court of Almighty, where we would see our account of deeds.